5 dangerous fat loss mistakes doctors see all the time. Most people don't fail at fat loss because they're lazy or unmotivated. In clinic, I see the opposite. People are trying very hard, but they're following advice that quietly works against their body. These mistakes don't just stall fat loss. Over time, they can damage health, energy, and metabolism. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 dangerous fat loss mistakes I see again and again as a doctor. And if you stick around to the end, I'll talk you through one bonus mistake that catches out people who are doing everything by the book, but still not getting results. Number 1, one of the most dangerous fat loss mistakes is eating far too little for too long. Severe calorie restriction sends a clear signal to the body that food is scarce. In response, stress hormones rise, energy expenditure falls, and the body becomes more efficient at holding on to fat. I see this regularly in clinic. People eating very little, training really hard, feeling exhausted and wondering why fat loss has stalled. What's actually happened is that the body has adapted to survive and not to lose fat. When intake is too low for too long, fat loss becomes harder, not easier, and health markers often worsen along the way. Number 2, a common mistake is relying on extreme diets that can't be maintained. Very restrictive approaches may lead to rapid weight loss initially, but they often come at the cost of nutrient intake, muscle mass, and long-term consistency. I often hear people say, it worked for a few weeks, then everything fell apart. That pattern isn't a personal failure, it's a predictable response to an unsustainable plan. You see, fat loss works best when the approach can be repeated day after day, not when it requires constant willpower or perfection. Number 3, ignoring sleep is one of the fastest ways to sabotage fat loss. Poor sleep disrupts appetite hormones, it increases cravings, and raises stress hormones that promote fat storage, particularly around the abdomen. I've seen people track food meticulously and train consistently, yet make no progress until sleep improves. Once sleep becomes regular, fat loss often resumes without changing calories. You see, sleep isn't a luxury in fat loss, it's a biological requirement. Number 4, focusing only on the scales while ignoring body composition is one of the biggest mistakes that I see when it comes to fat loss. You see, weight alone doesn't tell you what's happening inside the body. People can lose weight whilst losing muscle and slowing their metabolism. This makes fat regain more likely. I see patients frustrated that the scales aren't moving, but when we look closer, the waist size, the strength, and energy have improved. Now, those changes matter far more for long-term fat loss and health. Fat loss is about improving how the body functions, not just reducing a number on the scale. Number 5, doing too much high-intensity exercise whilst under-recovering is a big mistake I frequently see in people trying to lose body fat. You see, high-intensity training can be useful, but when layered on top of poor sleep, low intake, and high stress, it pushes the body into constant stress. In clinic, this often shows up as stubborn belly fat, fatigue, frequent injuries, or recurrent illness. The body simply doesn't feel safe enough to release fat. See, fat loss improves when training supports recovery rather than competes with it. And here's a bonus mistake I promised earlier on. Treating fat loss as a short-term project instead of a long-term process is a big mistake. I see people go all in for a few weeks, then fall off completely. Fat loss doesn't fail because people don't try hard enough. It fails because the approach can't be sustained. The body responds best to steady, repeatable habits. When fat loss is treated as something you need to survive rather than something you can live with, results rarely last. So, the bottom line is this. The most dangerous fat loss mistakes aren't about effort, they're about working against biology. Fat loss works when the body feels supported, fueled, rested, and safe enough to change. Dr. Derek here. If you found this helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I truly care about your health and I wish you the very best.